comes the news with a twist and a grin. Stephen Allen diving in again.
Britain is in the grip of a vomiting epidemic caused by nauseating TV adverts.
He'll hit your brain like a lightning spark. Stephen Allen,
on slavery.
almost daily,
Investigating
laughs and facts, served out plainly.
look at your face.
Your
Like,
dose
what are you
of
going to do with
wit, it's never shady. Stephen Allen, almost daily.
Hello and welcome to Stephen Allen. That missed, didn't it? Hello and welcome to Stephen. That's better. Stephen Allen, almost daily. I'm Stephen Allen, and this is a day. What more do you want? A camera that was pointing in the right place. That's what you wanted. Hello and welcome to the daytime edition. Daytime colours are back. If you've never watched one of these things before, what is wrong with you? Why have you failed at life? Damn it. But also, welcome along. Where I, Stephen Allen, just go through some of the news, front pages, innards of the news, all that kind of business. You can get involved in the chat as well. You might be thinking, well, have I not seen a daytime one before? Last week, we didn't get to do any daytime ones. We went late night. Ooh, late night love with Graham Torrington. Today, I'm back to where it should be. That means we get to do all the classics, all the standards, the colours. More on that in a sec. Before we accuse me of wearing a blouse, look, I'll tell you what, I feel like I'm sitting shorter than I normally. Am I? Do you normally get more than just moobs and above? Or have the moobs sunk? Is that what it is? Maybe it's this shirt. This shirt I randomly picked from the. Hang on. That's weird as well. Where's it? Over here. Get back. The clothes. No, it's not pointing that way. Screw it. I normally pick from the selection of clothes over there, and I've not even tried this shirt on for so long. Look at that collar. Damn. Even I'm like, did they ever make collars that big? And then I looked at this shirt and realised I bought this shirt for when I won a holiday. When I was 19, I won a holiday to Jamaica. No, I went of her own accord. What? I won an advert, a Femme Blues. Yes, the man's shirt, as Judel says. I won a holiday by writing an advert for Lilt. And I bought a shirt for it. And could it just take a second? Just to skew the data, to actually point out something that is true if you don't worry about it too much. I can still fit in clothes I wore when I was 19. Ho-ho! Were you a fat 19-year-old? Shut your face. Why would you bring that up? I can still fit in things from when I was 19. How fat were you when you were Steve? Oh, I was 19. I was winning competitions for soft drinks, sugary soft drinks. What do you think? Why did you have to ruin it? I was feeling really good about myself. My casters aren't working either now I've stood up. The shorts are on as well. Hello and welcome to Mr. Stephen Allen Goes Through Some of the News. As you can see, the chat is up and running. Let's see what's happening over in the chat. Join me. Joodles says, what more do you flipping want? Trouble is with that, Joodles, is you got an answer, didn't you? M says, cake. I want cake. I want cake. Why, aye, man, I like the cake, man. Thanking you kindly. That is how Ems talks. Fact. Joodle says, I'd also quite like a thumbnail. Is PM on strike? He's on holiday. Oh, other PM. Proper Meme says, I haven't even made a thumbnail because I thought this would be in the evening. Oh, no. We're all bottom about face. Joodles says, there's a fella on X celebrating his faniversary. I've neglected mine for decades. Are we thinking red velvet? The cake, or is something getting restrained? What's happening? What's a faniversary? What is that? Because all I can see is it's a portmanteau of two words, nursery and fanny. Are you growing small plants in your lady's vag? Because I need to know. That's and is it, what is it? Is it a chalky, a loamy soil? I don't know how you ladies work. Quite acidic, I imagine. I go to extreme, says Ems. Victoria Sponge. So it's not people being tied up. Victoria Sponge or a full salted caramel. Ooh, the salted caramel shenanigans. Doesn't make any sense, did it? I grew up back when I was 19. When I bought this shirt, the concept of adding salt to caramel. What are you, weird? Like when you accidentally put salt in your tea instead of sugar in your tea, and you're like, that's what you imagine. Oh, I'm going to ruin it again. That's what you imagine would happen if you put salt in caramel. Why would you want to ruin it? And then someone in the laboratory was experimenting. They spent so long thinking if they could, they didn't stop thinking if they should. They put salt in caramel. Can you imagine how fat a 19-year-old I would have been? Weirdly, I also have a picture of me applying for the passport picture from when I was 19, well, earlier than 19, obviously. But so like a year before I went on holiday, I was not fat. Things happened that year. That's the thing. So I bought this shirt and I lost some weight. If any other clothes I wore around that age, I would not fit in now. But this one particular had to buy a shirt because I was going on holiday. This one's going to make me feel good. It's like, why do people lose weight to get into a wedding dress for the rest of their life not being able to fit in that dress? What do you do? Gain weight for your wedding. What is wrong with people? Bloat up, carb load. It's like a marathon. Carb load before you get married. Really get some bloat going on, and then get a perfectly tailored, well-fitted dress. And then by the time you're in your 40s, you're like, I could still fit in my wedding dress. Because that's how you talk. Not Ems, we know how she talks. I've read that on Femme Blues. It's a man's shirt. It's a 19-year-old man's shirt. That is French for a 19-year-old man's shirt. Proper Meme says, I just sent Steve a new thumbnail. I'll get right on it. Thanks for that. I'll add it in with a thing. 90 shirts were very much looser. That's why I still have mine. All right. I mean, very loose. Very loose. Look at that. You fit someone else in it. If you could. That's why I call it a lady garden. Oh! I'll put my pen down because I know I slam it around too much. But it appears a faniversary, says Joodles, is celebrating when you chopped your knob off. No way, is it? We were talking at GB News the other day that to really get figures, to get the viewing figures up, we need to discover a third type of trans. That's what would really, if we could get the Daily Mail being like, scientists have discovered a third type of trans. And I put forward the argument that what it would be, it's someone who has both male and female genitalia. But they had their dinky turned into a minky, and they had their minky turned into a dinky. So you kind of back where you started, but I don't really know where else to go with that. It'd be on the newspapers, though, if someone did it, wouldn't they? Have to have your faniversary of them. Oh, sorry. It's daytime. We can do this.
Energy drink of the day. Keeps the yawns and the slumps away. Crack a can, hear it fizz and spray. Wake me up, take me away.
ASMR. God, it's good to be back. Lud131313 testing says, "Hi Steve, sorry I'm late. I've just been listening to One Jovi, Toilet Jovi more like, number one Jovi. Living on a prayer, that one. Personally, I'd rather listen to Pliers, minus the Jagademus. Did I say about this before? There's a hardware store near where I live called Deemer's, and they do sell pliers. That was all it took for me to be willing to move in. Proper Meme says to Joodles, I thought that would be a penis... Oh, God, what? A penis tentury. That's where you go to prison, isn't it? Hey? That would help you work out who should go into which prison. Men's and women's estate, wrong way of calling it. A penis tentury. Who goes into there? Lud's here. He is. He's late. 1, 2, 1, 3. Ems, my friend wears her wedding dress every year on her anniversary. Did she gain a lot of weight for the wedding? Because that makes more sense than the other one, doesn't it? It's weird. Friday live and loose shirt. A good point. M says former. the opposite, the grammatically opposite concept to Snow's informer. A lick a bum bum down. Don't know that one. Proper meme says, Ems, what does his wife think about it? When I get home, I'm going to rip my wife's tights off because they're really digging in. That probably was the first joke I learned as a kid. You're up to date. Oh no. Sorry. There he is. Colin's here, by the way. Colin's ready to start today's show. Here we go. You're ready for it? Like and subscribe, by the way. Like and subscribe. I think it's time to take a look at the front pages. Front pages! Hello. We start with the Daily Mail. Now, there's not going to be a lot of humour to be had about Athens suitcase murder suspect. So should we just not? Because there is joy to be had up here. Tears of prime suspect writer Linda LaPlante, which is French for man's shirt. The latest victim of the 20-mile-an-hour tyranny. If only there was some wise man who had written a whole Substack about how dumb the 20-mile-an-hour zones are. What's that? Mr. Stephen Allen's going on substack.com/@Mr. Stephen Allen. Well, go and have a read. It's one of those things where it's been framed that there's a goodie and a baddie, and good guys must be, lower speed limits and eco and loving Megan, and it's siloed concepts. There's a set of beliefs you have to have. And goodies, eco 20 miles an hour. No. I don't see how it's better for the environment to go at a less efficient speed. Now, I'm not saying that all roads should be 55 miles an hour. Although, just let me think about that for a while. And I know goodies versus baddies, cyclists, goodies, but right? They're not, though. The problem with the 20-mile-an-hour speed driving limit thing when you go through London is that cyclists can kind of do 20 miles an hour. And then you get in a situation where you just can't overtake a cyclist. You've been going through, as I go into London to do the GB stuff, right? I go through Finchley Road, down there, around the old Abbey Road, right? And if you're near a cyclist and you try and overtake and then they overtake, and you basically, because you're both doing roughly 20 miles an hour, I've had longer relationships with some cyclists than I have with ladies, which isn't saying much. Also, by the way, I'd taken pictures of this and forgot to transfer them. They're doing roadworks at the Abbey Road crossing. And in general, one of my least favourite parts of that journey is driving over the Beatles zebra crossing. Beatles. In Penny Lane. Don't know it. So, the crossing is annoying because people just stand there and you think they're going to cross. So you slow down, but they're not. They're just having a picture. You flipping. And they don't want you in the background of the picture, so they wave you on. Like, yeah. But right now, there's an absolute metric S-ton of roadworks there to see all of these tourists who've made the journey. They've gone to the Abbey Road crossing. There's temporary traffic lights in the background of their pictures. Ha ha! What was I saying? How's that? 20 miles an hour. It's not efficient. It's not better. Stop it now. You're up to date. Let's get some more chat going because I realised I've missed a few here. Charlotte's here. Lunchtimes with SNA. Yes, please. Hey, everyone. I know, a lunchtime one. More on that story later. Former is the third trans. Transformer. Oh. Imagine if someone had the ability as they tucked in. Did I do this joke before? I feel like this is the kind of thing I riff on a regular basis, normally on Free Speech Nation. As you tuck in, it makes the you kind of wouldn't mind as much. Do you know what I mean? Should you be in this changing room? Do you do the sound effect? You do. Who murdered Athens? Lud, it's a good point. Let's have a look at that story again. Athens suitcase murder suspect. You've opened up the can of worms here. No, I still can't. There's like a hot take about suitcases. No, I can't. Why does Linda write so good spy novels? Because she's a plant. La Plante is the new McDonald's burger, isn't it? Oh, God, I hope I've got it. There's a story about veganism today. We'll have to cover that. That's a really good one. Little amuses the innocent. Love these sound effects. Imagine. Something in your Optimus Prime. Back to the front pages. What we got? I still not fix that. Now we go to the Daily Telegraph. PC Harper killers will still be freed early. Oh, dear. I thought things were heading in the right direction. I've been spending a lot of time being asked these dumb questions on various media outlets saying, what's happening with the Andy Burnham? And I was trying to frame it by saying, look, we don't know how he'll be able to deliver on these promises, but isn't it nice to have someone like promising things we might like rather than promising things we don't like? If nothing gets delivered, wouldn't you still rather have an empty promise about lower tax, no IDs, no digital IDs trying to stop people entering the country? Or would you rather have promises about, we'll spend your money on a digital ID system that everyone hates? I know which one I'd rather hate. And then when this story broke, Andy Burnham was saying, like, oh, look into this. Maybe we shouldn't be releasing. Maybe. And this is his crazy concept. Bear with him here. Because he's mad for it. Maybe we shouldn't be releasing violent criminals. First thought, kind of scans, doesn't it? But then they've looked at it and they're like, no, we should. Okay. I still think we shouldn't, but that's what they're going to do. Because the problem is, you've got all these criminals in there, and some of them will have done non-violent crimes, but they might not have served as long of their sentence. So we're up against this decision. Would you rather have violent criminals released who've served 40% of their sentence, or non-violent criminals who've done less than 40% released? And my answer is, good God, why do we have to pick through those? I'd rather do one of those, would you rather have hands for feet or feet for hands? Why do we... Imagine how the mood would turn if you're having a game of would you rather. All right, no, I got one for you. Would you rather have violent criminals released who've done 40% of their prison term, or, no, hang on, non-violent criminals, but they've only done like 10%? What's wrong, guys? Why are we not all having a laugh? Because they're not mad for it. Chips are down as heat sparks potato crisis. Britain's potato crop is under threat from heat waves. Is it? Why they've got pre-baked potatoes. What do you do with the potato? You bake the damn thing. These people are idiots. Chips may soon be shorter. Baked potatoes could be hard to come by. I've never tried. As high temperatures stunt spuds growth. Ooh, tell me about it. Jim, why man ya na? Wagwan me like the cake and the potatoes. Jim, why man? Of 3Ms, the East Anglian potato growing conglomerate. We're talking big potato. There's a lot of potato money. Well, we're not talking big potato. We're actually talking small potatoes, which is confusing. There's a lot of big potato money, and this is not small potatoes because they'll lose out on money because of the size of the potatoes. So it is small potatoes, and yet it's not small potatoes. You're up to date. I don't think anyone's up to date. We've been chucking water on them, says Jim Wyman. But in this heat, they're not growing. It's like watering a corpse. Good God. I'd say some weird things, but what a go-to metaphor. What have you been doing in your field, Jim? How recently were you released? That your go-to metaphor is it's like watering a corpse. The water just runs off. They don't come back. They're gone. Gone forever. So no, that's Jim. You're up to date. Did the suitcase do it? Oh. Lud 1313 testing. Could be, isn't it? Don't do the crime if you don't want to face Optimus Prime. Although, as it turns out, do it. You'll be out in no time. Cool, right in the Optimus Prime. Oh, ouch, says Charlotte. It's the noise I'd make. Starmer was so robotic, I have a meme of him as Optimus Prime Minister. Nice. Shove that up your Autobot. Stunts Spud's growth. What? I've never done that stunt. No, don't do this to me. I love chips with some Tommy sauce and vinegar. Some vinegar. Here's the thing. And look, I don't want to worry people. I don't want to scare you. But boo! But also, if the chips are shorter, have more chips. You're welcome. For a minute there, you started to panic, didn't you? I'm going to bring this over here so I can lean back. You started to worry. You were thinking, oh no, but they're going to be shorter chips. Have fries. Doesn't matter how small the potatoes are. Fries are reconstituted potato, aren't they? A chip is a sliced potato, whereas a fry is a fried finger of mash. And by the way, finger of mash was my nickname back when I was doing the BBC. Apparently, you should not get the end of that story. It was a crazy time. I wasn't 19 then. They, them, potato head, I think you'll find. What we're talking about. We need to find out more. We need to talk to the Mr. Potato Head. If you'd have let me know that before, I could have done a sketch. Lud 1313. Chips are on short supply. Thanks, proper memes. Finger of mash report on BBC. Oh, I hadn't thought of that. They call me Mr. Finger. I don't need that, do we? I don't need an excuse to have more chips. Finger of mash is my what 3 words. Should we see more front pages? Oh, I've still not fixed that. Even though I think there's probably some more stuff we should look at on the front of the Telegraph. Baby has surgery inside mother's womb, which is amazing. Because the last time I had surgery, the waiting list alone would have meant I would have been born, probably been to school. Well, no, honestly, I think I had to wait a year or so, didn't I? When I had my last operation, when I had one off the wrist. Do you remember? I know I wasn't doing these streams then, but I had a ganglion thing. I had it since I was 17. We're really going back on today's show. And then eventually it just started to bother me, and I went to the doctors. I went to the GP. I got a phone call from the GP about my wrist, and he said, we don't do surgery on that anymore. Great, cheers, bye, thanks, bye. And then eventually at the end of the call, he said, I can put you with a consultation. Yeah, that thing, do that. And I went there, and the guy said, we can operate on that, which is very much different to what the GP said. It said, and I'd said, like, it kind of bothers me when I'm on the bike. And he said, does it hurt when you cycle? I said, not really. He went, but does it hurt when I fill in the form? And I said, well, I mean, when I put my wrist like that, it's kind of, he said, but does it hurt when you, I was like, yeah, it does. And so that's how I got my operation. He could have just told me, do you think I was wearing a wire? Could have just said. Anyway, there's a big waiting list for that. Farage in talks over restore. Now, we can do this one now. Farage in talks over restore electoral pact, which is amazing because you've got that. I don't think I've got enough space on here. We also have this. I'll move the camera in a bit. US ready for talks with Iran. And it's in there somewhere. I can't bother to find it now. Victoria and David Beckham not talking to their son. That's bad anyway. It's embarrassing anyway. But when you've got Restore and Reform and the US and Iran managing to have a chit chat and Brooklyn still holding out, making you look like the dick. Done with those. What's going on over here? Oh, could have used that instead. Fair enough. How to reverse aging in 4 minutes. Wear a shirt from when you were 19. Right? Right? What's in the background? So this old, whatever this is, do you exercise next to two oranges wearing a hat? I've been doing it wrong. Right. Surgeons start so young nowadays. That's true. One off the wrist. I think that's what they called it. What were you doing so much that it hurt your wrist? Well, and I know what you're going for, but actually, as it turns out, it was furiously not furiously. Don't know why you'd be in a mood about it. As a bachelor, Steve is known as a wristler. I think you'll find I was the finger of Matt. I hope that's what it is. What? Who what? Playing the ukulele, probably. Not playing it well. Ems, I deliberately tried to tune it for you. Didn't work, did it? Did not work. Trying to prove your dad wrong. Into the next... God, we've done 2 newspapers. Killers but not rapists to be given early release. Oh, good. So we'll get murdered. The health myths you should ignore. I heard a myth that you're meant to do press-ups next to 2 oranges wearing a top hat. Turns out that's wrong. Diagnosis of autism is so wide it risks being useless. Autism has become a catch-all diagnosis that's applied to so many people that it risks being almost useless. One of Britain's top leading experts on the condition has warned. Good. No, I agree with this. My diagnosis of autism is particularly useless because I've only ever been diagnosed as autistic by my wife during arguments, which feels like that's one of the least reliable times to receive a diagnosis. However, when I point that out, apparently that simply adds to the body of evidence as to the diagnosis. So actually, I'm quite torn on this one. I don't know. Could be. Every case of autism now falls under a single clinical label, autism spectrum disorder. However, Professor Dame Uta Frith said the diagnosis was being applied to people whose lives and needs had little resemblance to one another, from the children with profound disabilities. Yeah, I suppose that's how spectra work, isn't it? That one end shouldn't look anything like the other end. Otherwise, wouldn't they be nearer on the spectrum? You know what? I see what she means about me now. 2 oranges wearing a hat. I'm dead. Look, I don't know what you get up to. I know what the Tories used to do with an orange. But there you go. It's for your vitamin C, probably, isn't it? You know what I mean? You know what some people are like. I hope that I've read that. Oh, I missed that one. Left-handed pianist playing the ukulele. I deliberately didn't plug in the keyboard today because I didn't want to annoy you, but it's my fault for leaving this so close. Should have put it over there. Oh, the contrast has gone down on this bad boy, isn't it? When I'm playing my ukulele, it sounds very nice. It's such a nice ukulele. I have played it twice. It's that kind of improv that keeps this show being one of YouTube's top earners, if you don't actually use numbers. On to the next news story. No, I keep forgetting it's a 2-stroker, that one now, isn't it? 2 jabs a year to target silent killer. Look, I've not read the story, but whoever this is that's been going around silently killing, I give him more than 2 jabs a year. I give him a flipping uppercut. Naughty man. Should we see if I was right in my assumptions? A twice-yearly jab may help millions of people control their high blood pressure better, experts hope. Oh. Well, at least it's the hope that gets you in the end, though, isn't it? The treatment could even let some patients ditch daily pills entirely. 1 in 3 adults suffer with high blood pressure, which is known as a silent killer. I thought that was a phrase used for farts, but no, because now I'm worried what I've been diagnosed with. I thought the doctor just noticed that I'd let rip. I was pushing back against his diagnosis. We had an argument. He called me autistic. 1 in 3 adults, I read that bit. Mr. The Mannish Boy. I'm aware of them. I'm aware of his work before he became a doctor. Hypertension specialist at Bart's. Again, sorry. It was Bart's Health. No wonder I was confused about what was going on. Hang on, I've got some comments going here. Singing in black and white. Now you've gone too far. In this cam, those eyebrows look like Burnham's. There's something about the low contrast black and white. This is the level of hair I want. Can I have this one, please? I'm gonna have it done. I've had one off the wrist. Why not have some on the head? What? Maybe a little bit thicker than that. I'm Batman. Do like and subscribe. They used your pen to do the. Oh. Will the 2 jabs work on the killers released early from prison? That's a good idea, isn't it? That'd be better than tagging them. Joodles says, when are you gonna get the football off the shelf? 30-year-old femme blues for goalposts. Well, there he is. Oh, there he is. I mean, he's got a smiley face. There's a strong chance he's the next character on this show. Almost daily. Do like and subscribe. Look at that. Do you know what? I know we've gone live and loose and we're not meant to. Do you know what anyone recognise what that car is down there? The one here, obviously, you can't quite see on there. I can't be asked to move it. We all know there is the model of the Toyota Yaris. But anyone recognise that other car? I'll give you 10 points. Jason Statham has nothing on you in that light. You know a sermon. I want that much hair. The lack of Chris. Oh, the spuds are dead. Chris is here. What's Chris missed? Evening, Charlie. You missed the Branston Spud story. Was it Chips? Consultations with Dr. Manish are always very tense. The spuds are dead. That's what you missed. You never explained the soccer ball. Did I not? That is the gift that was given to me for Father's Day. Because you know how much I like football, so you know me better than some. You're up to date. The other gift I received a while ago, of course, was the R2-D2 keyring, because I love Star Trek. By the way, seeing this? This is Charlize Theron, right? Charlize's new look is a clear winner. I'm not here to comment on anyone's fashion. I'm wearing a shirt from when I was 19 with massive collars, but I'm not looking like I'm about to handle caustic materials. Is this a fashion thing now? How do you dress this year? This year, we're dressing like we're about to go and decant some sodium hydroxide. It's already got to a couple of buttons, hasn't it? You want to be careful with that. Everyone thinks acid is the nasty material. The strong hydroxide is worse. Sodium hydroxide, because it dries to a powder, and then when the powder then touches your fingers, it's very concentrated hydroxide, sodium hydroxide. Lie.
Science Corner.
Charlotte says she looks like she's about to go down the water slide. I actually need a waterproof skirt for work. That'd do it. You want to have those gloves as well. I don't know. Look, she's a busy woman. She might just be coming back from doing a small amount of work with caustic materials. Fair enough. M says, that looks like Blue Roll. Everyone's copying my fashion designs. Come on. The next time we see Charlize Theron out and about, she's going to have a collar that's so big it's going to make you think she's 19 again. Science Corner. Thank you. We're back. Are there any other newspapers? Yes, this one. This. 5 minutes apart. This is what I should have used for David Beckham, Victoria Beckham, so close to speaking to their son. Nigel Farage might be being all friends with Rupert Lowe. America and Iran. But here's the Farage story. Nigel Farage's plans to send the Navy to stop small boats was ripped apart last night because we don't have a Navy left anymore. Is that why? That's why. The reform policy, dreamed up in the wake of sleaze probes, well, at the same time, these two things happened at the same time, was labelled illegal and dangerous. Retired Royal Navy Commander Tom Sharp said of the scheme, it starts to unravel quite quickly when you realise we don't have a Navy. Yeah. I think that's the main problem with it, isn't it? Driest July in 190 years. That looks quite dry, doesn't it? England and Wales record the driest July since records began. Britain has second hottest July on record, leading to a drought and lower crop yields. Smaller potatoes as well. I don't know if you've heard. The potatoes will not be as big. It's a boost to solar power, but you can't drink that. I've tried. Made it worse, if anything. Don't try that again. I misunderstood what a spritzer was and thought you needed to put batteries in it. What? Yeah, so not as much food around. However, look, jabs, Manjaro. We come back to the obvious thing here. If there's not enough food in the country, give everyone Manjaro and we won't mind. Solved it. You're up to date. Right. Let's wrap these bad boys up before we go. You are a trendsetter, Steve. Thank you, Charlotte. I missed one. Why is it showing up there but not up there? Charlie's outfit needs blue couture treatment. If I had, well, I've got one. I've got one hanging around. We'll see what we can do. Meanwhile, should we go further inside the news?
Let's get inside the news.
Time to get inside the news. Here it is. There's today's news coming up. Do like and subscribe. We start with... let's do this entertainment news one, shall we? Flipping legs of Colin up there. Speaking of which, Colleen bags it. There's Colleen Rooney, who's been to Primarché. I don't know how to say this nicely. If I'd have stayed with a footballer who sleeps with grannies just for the money, I'd probably go somewhere a bit fancier. You know what I mean? And I don't wish to be too indelicate, but if I'd have stayed with a footballer who absolutely loves to boff a gran just for the money, I'd probably go down Zara. You're up to date. Well, just, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? I've not even read this story, but it's got breasts in the headline, and I just thought that's the kind of thing we talk about. Breasts flash ma let off jail. Let's find out more. A drunk mum avoided being banged up steady after flashing her boobs at men outside a seaside pub. Oh, well, I'm glad. Finally, someone needs to be cracking down on this. Hospitality, worker, Jade Seddon, 31, lifted her blouse, le blouson, a blouson, woman's blouse, and exposed herself to members of the public, including a man with his dog. She flashed a dog. Oh, that makes me sick. That's up there with, that's bestiality, isn't it? Oh. She'd been drinking heavily when a row broke out in December last year. Ding, 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 ding. It was, what a night. In front of the Dublin Irish bar in Merseyside. Well, she was mad for it. She punched an onlooker before falling over twice. Oh, so you mean a Tuesday. And she has been released. Can I just say, when it comes to releasing murderers and other violent offenders to free up time, space in our prisons, I'm glad we let her out first. In fact, you know what? For the sake of the safety of others, I would willingly, you could send her around here. If I got spare room. This shed, actually, this space in the shed. Let's free up the prisons by sending Jade Seddon, 31, here. It's fine. Has she been fully rehabilitated? I hope not. And then I will help her out. Of the bra, it's where do we start from here? 190 years ago, they were wetting their fingers and sticking it in the air to assess the weather, says Lud1313. And yet now it tells me the aircon's on. I've just realised it's Larry singing your Inside the News jingle, says Chris. Oh, well, I can't afford Larry these days. Rooney goes to Primani. You know exactly what I mean. No, Zara has danger pants. Ems, I don't know what that means. Am I going to regret this? What are danger pants? Why are they dangerous? Why are they pants? I think I can work out that one. No way, Chris. Larry is way more high-pitched. Good point, well made. Was Chaz in the photo? Which one? She got her baps out in December, says Joodles. Good God. Good point. Well, what with climate change? Have you noticed? You see in baps later and later into the season. Because normally, in the old days, you wouldn't see any baps after around Harvest Festival. Was the last time I grew up in the north. Normally, you'd see people flashing their baps until the harvest moon. And, the harvest moon was something else back then as well. These days, up in Merseyside, they're getting them out. They've got non-deciduous baps. They're evergreen. Just because I'm 31, I have rather large pillows doesn't mean that it was me in the photo. Wrong one. Oh, I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. You can't see her baps, which makes that quite a rare picture of her. Joodles says, what are you saying about RMs, Lud? What's Lud said? Yeah, Joodles. Normally, you would have to go to Newcastle for that. Ems. Tell us more. Are BAPs the same as COBs? Yes. They are. Because I'm from the Midlands, I always refer to them as COBs. Move down south. Someone says, would you like me to spread butter on me BAPs? That's why I got banned from that bakery. I think we're up to date. Let's get into the next bit. Done that one. Colin, your legs are in the way. We're moving you out. What else we got? Racism's rising across the NHS. NHS workers are increasingly racially abused by patients, with some even refusing to be treated by non-white medics. Can I just say, look, I don't understand the nature of the mind of a racist, but for the love of all that is good, don't do it when someone could just give you a prostate test. I don't think anyone should be racially offensive, but the dumbest time to do it would be you just pop it into the hospital, trousers down. Tell you who I don't like. Last bloke I had putting his fingers there was some white bloke. You don't get the... Good God! People are stupid. I quite like that. If I need a little... Well, there's got to be a way of doing this as a sketch, having a thing on there. I'll work on that. More on that later. Meanwhile, in entertainment news, Zoe Ball talks nonsense to her phone because she's scared it's listening to her private conversations. Good, but why then do that on radio as well? Ho, ho, ho! No, we all worry about it, don't we, that phones are listening to the things you have. You say, have a conversation with someone. I think you open up your phone and there is an advert for the kind of things you like, or you've just been talking about, right? Which is why, whenever I'm out, whenever a friend of mine like nips to the toilet or to the bar, I just lean into their phone and just say, dildos. And I don't know what happens, but they're going to be worried seeing all the flipping Timo ads cropping up. More on that story later. More Hardy in Newcastle, you know. Are they called Hardys up there as well? Been on the gin, Chris. What's Chris been saying? M&S fitters are called cobblers. Cobblers. Does Ems call them bread buns? I'm confused about what we're talking about. Sorry, are we actually talking about bread now? I've been doing this show all wrong. Us Southerners know how to treat you. Oh, because of the baps. I always need my baps buttered. Who on earth wants a dry bap? Yep. Gin later, Ems. Lud, it was Stan Laurel who was from North Shields. Chris, yes, we are simple folk, says Ems. And... Good God. You can hear it going out of tune, can't you? I think Zoe is confused about when she's on the phone and on air. There's a good point well made there. I think I saw him there, actually. Stan, I mean. And he had his baps out. Well, that's another fine mess he's gotten himself into. Lauren and Hardy is called Pancake and Fatty in Finland. Right, on to the next one. I'll leave that there. Let's leave that there for a second. What's this one? Not that one. How about this one? Tories blast government's plan to make schools easier. Labour wants to dumb down classrooms while refusing to take the blame for the youth jobless crisis. Well, I half agree with this, because if schools get easier, then that means kids in general will be, what's the phrase I'm looking for, dumber. And that'll make it easier for me to get a job, because at some point I ain't going to be able to keep doing this, am I? I'm not washing my face on this one. So at some point I'm going to be competing against people who are youthful, both of their knees work, and thank God that they will be dumb. They would have like GCSEs, but they can't spell GCSEs. That's what I'm up against. And then, in comparison, me in my 50s or whatever, by the time I will be there, not right now, versus some young person, they've got all their hair, but I'll have some by them. This is what we need. We need to really just dumb down the kids. Can we do that? Thank you. It's why I don't know why you'd want to do it. Education Secretary Lucy Powell was criticised for saying the one-size-fits-all approach to learning has led to 1 million UK youngsters not being in training or work. She was attacked for taking a fresh look at what children were being taught. That's all they can do, isn't it? You get the job of Education Secretary, all you can do is look at the national curriculum, and it goes round and again. Ministers are considering curriculum changes to teenagers to take fewer GCSEs to stop them becoming stressed. Do it. Do it. Actually, to be honest, you might as well, because I've never had a job where anyone's asked me for my GCSEs. You only did 9. Hang on. Drop one. To be fair, no one's really ever asked for my degree. Just make it up. Feels like they don't check. Don't make up a proper degree. Make up one of those other ones where Ennial did it, could do it. Like if you said you had a degree in media studies, one of those ones, right? And no one's going to be able to ask you a question and straight away show that you're too dumb for it. If you went in there going, "Yes, I have a degree in particle physics." All right, name all the parts of the Standard Model. Whereas, I got a degree in sociology. All right. There's no question that can test that. Morrison's has become the first supermarket to launch its Christmas chocolate range for 2026. Course it has. Stores are now stocking festive favourites, including Cadbury Selection boxes and Kit Kat Santas. They call him a Kit Kat Santa because he can take 4... What, sorry? Is that? No, it's a chocolate thing. This is not the... Even though it's the first one, the reason it gets earlier every year is because the stores realise whoever does it first gets in the newspapers. There you go, free advertising for Morrison's on this show. So they're going to be laughing all the way to the bank. But I'll see some good stuff going in there in a sec. The more annoying thing, and this was an M&S thing last year, that they brought out some non-chocolate, because chocolate lasts, doesn't it? But it was stolen. Let's all do those jokes. But some stolen stuff where the use-by date was before the 25th of December. Way before. There was some stuff that was running out in November. That should not be allowed, should it? I'm not up for having a government oppress us too much. Just a little, just enough to not let shops make Christmas stuff that is best before Christmas. I don't know how, but just it is.
Daily Rant.
Thanks. This show has been very BAP-inspired, says Charlotte Lovett. Well, there are other streamers on YouTube who don't talk about carbs. Lud, says Ems, there's a statue about that. I have to rub his pecs, like that Molly Malone statue in Dublin. You don't have to, do you? Lud, 1313. Always rub pecs when I'm out and about. I'm known for it. We've moved from the BAP conversation only slightly. Should we have a whip round to get Steve a syrup? I think, honestly, I'm starting to... I think the midlife crisis. Remember, I grew my hair and grew my hair and had a beard at the start of the year. No wonder I was making the ears sound in that sentence. Yeah, I kind of liked it. Powell is afraid that sixth graders are smarter than she is. Well, that's the problem, because the only way there'll be a leader of the Labour Party is if they stop sixth graders applying for it. I think that's the only way. Something like that. You probably know my husband. Chris says 7-Up is a can of pop, isn't it? What are we talking about? 7-Up. Oh, good God. Proper Memes is doing the joke. I better get the beep ready. 7-Up is when the dwarves saw Snow White nude. All right. Phew. Let me get away with that one. Where's the chocolate pocket, though? That's a good question. I grew my hair. It's my what 3 words. Thank you, Doodles. For the £1.99, you've more than covered today's energy drink of the day. I buy them in a multi-pack. They're not to be sold separately. My mate got nicked for selling Christmas bread because it was stolen. Good point, PM. There was a chocolate I can't remember. I did think we'd end up talking about chocolate pockets today, and I can't remember why. Maybe it was the one about don't be racist to people doing your searches. Clarkson. Jeremy Clarkson has sparked a backlash after saying benefit claimants should write weekly thank you letters to taxpayers because his pet dogs are more grateful. I've got to be honest, right? If I were... At some point, this might happen. When AI takes over, no one has jobs anymore, and we all have to receive universal basic income. If the AI says, and you're going to have to write a letter of thanks about it, I'd do it. And most of the argument against things like this is, if someone is in receipt of benefits, they shouldn't be demeaned. Have you had a job? Most of what you get paid money for is just sucking up that dimension. The demeanatives. I don't know what the other versions of that word is. I'm struggling today. The amount of that you have to swallow when you have a job, most of the money you're being given is for that. It's not for the actual work you do. It's for putting up with your boss. It's for having to demean yourself on a 5 days a week basis. Oh, that cretin's come up with a good idea. We all need to pretend it's a good one. Ka-ching. So that it's the same, isn't it? If you had to pretend to be grateful for benefits, is the same way that you have to pretend to be grateful for getting a wage. Maybe I'm just getting older. Lud says the chocolate pocket is where butter rubbing leads to. Butter? I hardly knew her. Come on. Don't have a syrup or grow hair. You look fine. Just cue the Billy Joel song. Bless you, thank you. But I don't know, I think if I had the same hair but just a little bit thicker so that I don't get sunburn. Butter rubbing leads to my 3-word address. Well, then that's a worry. That's a word of caution to everyone. Proper Meme says, with the amount of thank you letters, Royal Mail would be making sky-high profits, but benefit costs would go up due to expensive stamps. Swings and roundabouts. True. Good point, well made. I remember back in the day, I mean, thankfully you don't have to lick stamps anymore, because that would be a problem, wouldn't it? The water companies would get involved. The amount of dehydration these people would have to do. For years, young people won't even know this, but for years we had stamps that you had to lick to activate the adhesive. You had to use saliva, had to put it on your tongue like that and put it on. For years, decades, they were trying to find a better way to stick the stamps to the envelopes, and eventually they licked it. I spent several £100s on my dog yesterday, and he's not written me a letter. Yeah. You got an ungrateful dog there. You want to show him that story. Butter rubbing, says Charlotte, has instantly made me feel, how can you get a grip on that? That's true. Well, it also depends on what time of year, doesn't it? Butter is only good nowhere near the apogee or perigee of our orbit. Do you not agree with that? I think you do. That was one of my favourite jokes I wrote on when I was doing jokes for BBC Kent. Oh, God, how am I going to remember the setup now? So, with an elliptical orbit, we are at our apogee when we're at the furthest away and perigee when we're near, right? I think that's right. So, I did a joke about it being the time when we were, the Earth was at its perigee. And somehow I had like another character say, perigees, and I was like, no, they're barely a D, or something like that. You know what I'm like. Find a really technical, sciencey term and somehow make it a boob joke. I very much enjoy that. Well, I will when he wakes up, says Ems. Yeah, but right, get him to write. What type of dog is he? I'm trying to think if there's a breed of dog that's anything to do with. Get him a pen, one of them Sharpies. I didn't deserve that one, but I wanted a drink. Right, back into this. God knows what I was thinking of talking about on this one. Son lied for 3 years to collect £78,000 in benefits. A man who kept his dead mum's body in the freezer for almost 3 years pocketed 78 grand. He's been jailed. He's been put in the cooler. That was it. It's not right, is it? It's not right, but it's okay. That's just going on about dry July. Oh, I didn't read this one, but I did like the headlines. Let's see what we've got. Fart man empties Spidey cinema. Superpowered farts forced a cinema showing the new Spider-Man movie to be evacuated. Not the only thing. A punter appeared to suffer a giant bout of flatulence halfway through the screening, making hundreds of ticket holders hold their noses. So they were holding their tickets. They were nose holders. And their heads. No, they weren't holding their heads. They headed to the exit. Filmgoers branded the culprit a supervillain. As one complained, God knows what he ate. How was this news? Man farts in cinema. Do you get the feeling that this wouldn't have been a story if it wasn't Spider-Man? If it were just like a different film, we wouldn't have cared. Another posted on social media, there's no respect anymore. The interruption caused a stink as Spider-Man Brand New Day was being screened. This is in Colombia. What? So it's not even in the UK. Colombian man took a fart. The showing was not cancelled, but many fans gave up and went home. It's not clear if it was... Oh, I see. Oh, no, I think that requires pointing out. Do you think the newspaper was really trying to hit its word count to fill the space? The film stars British actor Tom Holland and his wife Zendaya. What's that going to do with it? Don't blame them. I've not seen the film, but I don't think it's fart-inducing. I could be proved wrong, but I know in it you get to see him like shoot out some organic webbing. I don't think like, I'll try that. Missed. It's not that. Oh, we need some more chat first. I went to see Spider-Man. It's a work of art. Spider-Man brand new spray, says Proper Memes. I just looked that What 3 Words up. Oh, dear. I'm going to see it tonight. Hope that doesn't happen when I'm there. Well, what have you been eating today? It was a rotten chocolate pocket. Good point, well made. Fantastic idea. I've missed what's Lud said. Nice, says Ems. He's a pointer. Steve, if you're concerned about the top of your head for reasons I cannot understand, you could always have a spider's web tattooed across your face. I'm sure that'll take your mind off it. No, it'll make people near me fart. Fantastic idea, Lud. 78 grand. Close enough. Apparently web doesn't contain smells. Well, there you go. Oh, well remembered, Ems. The passport lady. This is dramatic music. I'm going to see it tonight. I've read that one. Spider-Man brand new spray. I'm going to have to... What? I'm going to have to... Now, look. What are you doing? I'm getting a tattoo on you. I just think I'd look better with a little bit. This one. Bots are making Brits go medieval. Tech fears spark festival boom. A lot of these are just words, aren't they? Medieval festivals are all the rage as fears over AI drive folk to seek out a nostalgic, simpler way of life. Now, first of all, too many words in that sentence as well, isn't it? The AI bots might make us seek out a simpler life. I don't think you can call it nostalgic when it's medieval. I know people are living longer these days, but I don't think anyone's like, oh, do you remember when? Back in the day when we had fire, but people had leeches, but that was about it. Do you remember back in the day? In the medieval times. No one remembers it, and I think that's, to be nostalgia, I would remember it. Is that right? Someone look that up. I would ask my Google thing to look it up for me, but you know what she's like with me. But they're right. There's a lot of stress, a lot of modern day pressure with the AIs and the emails and the work-life balance. And it is nice. It is nice just to find a way to like unplug for a while, a bit of escapism. So whenever I get a bit stressed by all the tech, I like to get the plague. What happened back then? It was, I imagine there's a bit of that. I got some cholera. I really like to live in a time when you're going to be done off in a battle. You've got to make it to your 30s. That's it. It really makes you feel relaxed. Oh, let's go back to a time when you were between wars with local kings. That's what I like. Why do people think that was better than what we have now? How dumb are we? Don't answer that. Speaking of kings, here he is. This one. All hail the king. Charles's approval rating highest yet. My arm is not that hairy in real life. That makes me look like I'm a builder. What's happened there? What? Okay, that's gone weird. Oh, it's following his face. I'll fold it then. The king has recorded his highest approval rating from the British public since his coronation. Some 68% say they believe His Majesty is doing a good job. He might be doing well, but he does not have a job. Which is weird because he actually does write letters. Not of thanks, but he could add one. What was it? He writes like 2,000 letters a day. We found out on the show recently. One of them could be a little bit of a thank you for the money we give. Maybe you could just bear that in mind. Maybe just bear that one in mind a little bit if you don't mind. But look, I don't want to be harsh. He's he's not really doing work, is he? Do you know what I mean? Going around getting angry at pens when they run out. Yesterday, my other version of this pen ran out and I put a new refill in. See? It's doable. Don't have to be a dick about it. It's the only reason I put that story in, really. I just wanted a reason to... The king getting out of a chair. Shaggy in Sting musical. It's not like me to pick a news story just so I can cram in a very bad impression, is it? Anyway, Shaggy in Sting musical. Shaggy is heading to the West End to star alongside Sting in The Last Ship. It's a musical written by Sting, and he said, I immediately knew Shaggy was the perfect man for this role. He has a great sense of mischief. No. I know what you're thinking, that he gets up to all sorts of mischief, but I think you'll find it wasn't him. I can't do it. I have to warm up. Shaggy. It wasn't me. There you go. I'll take that one again. No. He's not. It's not mischief. No. I know you think he got up all sorts, but as he said, it wasn't me. Shaggy. About this one. Family trip is bigger. Trips with grandparents in tow are making a comeback. What, like Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, that kind of thing. Searches for large family holidays. Nah, that's not grandparents. That's just people are fat these days. Large... I wish I... Where can I open it so we can get the sound effects of typing? So, hang on. I'm going to search for large family holiday. How large? I don't know why I haven't seen me knob for 3 years. I've broken it. I know we all knew I'd break it. We all knew. It wasn't worth it for the thing. Not Scooby then. Zoinks! Ray? No, you never do impressions, Steve. That's harsh. Call the police, says Proper Memes. Roxanne! Oh, it's E minor, isn't it? Oh, forget it. You should be playing the Royal Albert Hall with those ukulele skills. Is that a small pub somewhere? The Shaggy impression is like low-sounding Gollum. Imagine Gollum doing a ragamuffin. You wasn't Saz. We're not even nearly done. Is it all inclusive? Not at your size, mate. You'll bankrupt the company. Holiday lost to big day. What's going on with this one? Attending pricey overseas weddings forces Brits to cancel their own holidays to attend. Oh, well. You got a flipping holiday out of it. Nearly a third felt pressure to go into these destination weddings that they didn't want to go to. Almost 1 in 5 ended up scrapping their own annual vacation. Feel free to bear in mind that when someone invites you to a holiday abroad, they don't want you to go. That's why. That's why people have holidays. They try and move both financially and economically away from where you can go to. They're doing it so they can just go, oh, we give you the chance, but we're having it over there, so it's okay. We understand if you know. And then you rock up with a toaster. You've been ruining the big day. Wagwan Gollum. The old Terry Wagwan. The old Gollum. Your Geordie and Jamaican accents sound the same. What? That makes no sense. What? Are you sure about that? I think we would have noticed by now. If my Geordie impressions and my Jamaican impressions were in any way similar, someone would have mentioned that in the chat by now. What? It's the 4th of August. I've been doing those accents for months now. Months. Charlotte says, if I ever got married, that's exactly why I would get married abroad. Because hey, people, yeah, this is try. You don't need to go abroad, by the way. There's a village in Wiltshire called, what's it bloody called? There's a village in Wiltshire. And it was confiscated by the MOD in the 1950s. Might have been the 40s, actually. Must have been the 40s now I think about it. Maybe it's the 30s. There was one of the wars, probably the second one. So in the 40s, they needed it for training exercises. And Imber, there it is. Imber, I barely knew her. They took this village of Imber, they confiscated it, moved everyone out so they could practice warring, right? And they never gave it back. So the people of Imber are now, well, they've all died off. I mean, they would have died off quicker if they'd have stayed. And now you are allowed to go, I think it's Christmas and Easter, where you can go and visit the church, which is the only building in Imber that's not been blown up because they didn't want to upset, you know. It's all very well attacking the Germans, but don't fight the war on two fronts. That's exactly why they lost. So just go there. There's a church in Imber that no one's allowed to go near. Come on. We're having a big day. We're having it in Imber Cathedral. Not this cathedral. But we would invite you, but, you know, the MOD won't allow it. They'll shoot you if you go there. Anyway, thanks. Send money. Proper Meme says Sarah Jamilican. No, I'm sure someone would have mentioned that by now. Gollum looks a lot like Rory Stewart. I almost think it's fair enough to say it's the other way around. But Gollum got there first. Do you know what I mean? I would be willing to tune in to The Rest is Politics with Alistair Campbell and Gollum / Schmiegel. Well, of course, when I was working with Tony Blair, what do you think?
He's stupid.
I read that as Rod Stewart. What do you mean? You thought the words were Rod Stewart, or you read it in your? When you read it out loud, did you sound like a smoky voiced singer? Different hair. Oh, I wish. I think we're almost up to date. What time is it? Oh, Christ. Sorry. We've got to finish this. This one. These late night ones have got me too used to prattling on. Roy Stride says he gave up being vegetarian after he was attacked by an animal. This is the Scouting for Girls frontman, revealed that he started eating meat again when he was chased down by an angry ram. And I approve of this. This is the kind of mentality for revenge that would make a great film. Forget John Wick. This is a guy who, I'm vegetarian, I don't really want to harm animals. And then one day, a ram just pees him off. And he's like, "You will rue the day you ever crossed Roy Stride. I have a certain set of skills. Darning of socks, pitching tents, whatever the Scouting for Girls movement does. And I will find you, and I will eat your family." Oh, there's Roy Stride who's wearing a woolly jumper. You will rue the day. I am Roy Stride. Father to a slightly scared son, husband to a slightly moved out of that field wife. And I will find you, and I will eat you with mint sauce. I agree. Right, so we're done. I would tune in to The Rest is Precious. Oh my God, that's a brilliant idea. Oh, if only I had the time to get like the footage from The Rest is Politics thing and then edit me somehow, green screen it. We've done green screen now. Change it so that the backdrop of wherever they film, whichever kitchen Rory Stewart's in. I just have.
Yes.
Big. Oh, it's good. Pitching tents. They've been on those supplements. Anyway, right. Where's this?
Here are the plugs where you can see Steve and Helen all this week.
Hi, I'm Stephen Allen, and it's time to take a quick look at where you could see me this week. We do have some issues to talk about, I'm afraid, but plugs. On Wednesday night, I'll be on GB News, reviewing the news from 11 p.m. Then on Thursday, I know I was meant to, I promise you this week, I'll be doing daytime ones. I'm sorry you had to stay up late last week. our little lad he was meant to be in this week at this like sports academy thing. And so yesterday he was in, it was just guff. They did no sports. They let him watch films. It looked rough as... You know those stories you get in Christmas when there's like a winter wonderland for the kids? And it turns out it's just a shed with a picture of a sheep or something, right? That. And he hated it, and there's some other kind of worrying stuff we heard. So he's not. So today, I got to do this one. On Thursday, the missus is at work. Thursday show will then have to be a nighttime one. Ems, I will personally send you the amphetamines. That'll keep you up. And then Friday, we won't be doing an Almost Daily in the afternoon either because of BBC Radio 5 Live, where I'll be on from 11 in the morning talking about the news. But it does mean we'll do a nighttime one on Thursday if you can make it, and then I've got a spare one on Friday. I don't think I can do the Friday night one because I think I have a gig. No, I'm talking like that. I think I might have a gig. But then if I have a gig, I would have written it down there. So there is no, you're right, I don't. So there is a chance we might do nighttime ones on Thursday and Friday. Ems, could you move to another country so that your body clock is in tune with when we're doing shows? Could you do that? And then on Sunday, GB News, Free Speech Nation from 7. And that's Friday night on BBC One. No, that's not. Thank you very much for watching. It's not every YouTuber that offers to drug their viewers. I don't know. I heard a few things. Some of those big ones. By the way, there is an audio version where I do a podcast. I'm trying to do them almost daily, 5 days a week. Because remember a little while ago, some production company got involved and like we're working on it together. Sweet boobies. We've made it. We've gone monetized on the audio version. Get stuck in. Listen to some of those adverts. Guess what, by the way? I am nearly getting monetized on this bad boy in terms of my hours. And all I needed was one more authenticated watch hour to push me into the thing. And look, we've just done over an hour here. With jazz like that as well. Most use N20. Was that a night bus? That'll knock you out, won't it? He knows I can sell them in prison. He takes a cut. That's a good point. I know how. I know what you can smuggle. Really enjoyed it today. Thank you, Steve, says Charlotte. Thank you, Charlotte. I'm having surgery tomorrow, so this has cheered me right up. What, in the womb? Wowzers. How long has the waiting list been on that one? Because I might come and have some too. Depends what it is. Do they do hair while I'm in there? The N17 is the road in Ireland, isn't it? That'll knock you out as well. Let's see the thumbnail. Bear with. Oh, my dad, I got so many browsers open. I am Johnny Big Browser here. I got one. Clicked on the wrong one now. Let's click on the right one again. Oh, well, that's a visual treat. It's taken a while to save. I got a lot of files on my main drive. That's the problem. While I'm giving you the update, the media server in the house, which I used to stream media, I've done it. I've got rid of Windows 10. I ain't messing with that anymore. Debian 13. Right up the wazoo. Well, that's... Why is everyone else looking better than me? They are the kind of shorts I go running in, actually. They'll double layer ones. Yeah. Well, that's a treat for everyone, isn't it? That probably is what I look like when I go running as well. So if you weren't worried about an invasion before, you would if that suddenly turned up on your beach, wouldn't it? Yep. Well, thank you very much for that proper meme. Joodle's saying, oh my. Yeah. It hits some sort of a spot, doesn't it? Saw doctors. Well, that explains why you're feeling better. I can get us some Coke if we're on the subject. What? Lud, 1 2 1 3 1 3. I got 2 bottles of Diet in the car. I prefer fat Coke. If you don't see me here on Thursday, you know what's happened to me. Are you having your minky turned into a dinky and your dinky turned into a minky? You won't know if you're coming or going. Struth, mate. Yes, no, I agree. And hi, Seb's here. I just wanted to say, I think you're a really nice man. Thank you for being so kind. It's absolutely, well, bless you. Thank you. I'll go and work on that. Meanwhile, Thursday, sorry we can't do the daytime ones, but I am still churning out more audio ones. Go and have a look at that. Get yourself subscribed. Click the like. Click the subscribe. Click the bell. Substack.com/Mr. Stephen Allen, in case you want any of that stuff. And till next time, anything else before we go? Nope. Till next time, bye.
Here comes the news with a twist and a grin. Stephen Allen diving in again.
Britain is in the grip of a vomiting epidemic, despite nauseating TV adverts.
He'll hit your brain like a lightning spark. Stephen Allen,
on slavery in their
almost
lives,
daily,
Investigating
laughs and facts, served out plainly.
Look at your face.
Your
Like, what are
dose
you
of
going to do with that,
wit,
Steve?
it's never shady. Stephen Allen, almost daily.
Is that meant to be a minky or a dinky? Yeah.